Former Mumford & Sons banjoist Winston Marshall sums it up best. He wrote, "The Greenland issue has exposed two fundamental misconceptions widely held by European elites. Number one, that the rules-based world order ever existed. No, it was a mirage, only ever there for American might and to keep money to keep Europe afloat. Number two, America is causing turbulence and threatening world stability. No," writes Marshall, "America is in a Thucydides trap. The threat to the world is China, and the U.S. is acting in response." Winston Marshall joins me now. Winston, great to see you here today. Let's go through these, if we might, one by one. Let's go with the first point, a point that I thought hit home for me after President Trump of the United States of America took out Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. We can't pretend there's some rules-based order, i.e. international law, when the rest of the world acts as though there is no international law.
Yes. Well, I might actually start by zooming out and saying what happened this week in Davos, where we're watching all of these liberal elite, the Euro fools, basically having meltdowns in their Davos chalets, is we're seeing the new stage, perhaps it's the third stage in the end of the post-war consensus globalist world order. That maybe the first phase was around 2016 when Trump was first elected and you had Brexit in our country, and there was a return to putting the nation first, a national preference, and again a movement against, let's say, the global world order, massive international groups like the EU. Then you had COVID, and the world woke up to how organizations like the WHO are actually a total fraud, and they don't actually work for the people. And now what Trump has exposed is that all of these elites in Europe still believe in this international law and the rules-based order. The thing is, it never actually existed. Right. The only thing, as you already wrote, the only thing that existed was might. Now, this is, I think, doubly offensive for Americans, because it is Americans. Now, America is NATO. 60% of expenditure of NATO nations on defense comes from America. America has spent since 1980, and I believe Scott Bessent said this, in the region of 20 trillion more on defense than all NATO nations combined. If the non-American NATO countries believe that they can do it alone, no, they can't. In fact, America is keeping NATO and Europe afloat. Now, add to that as well, important detail, it's American taxpayers that are paying for this. It's not the American elite. American hardworking taxpayers are paying for European security. Not only that, you'll of course remember that after the war, they spent billions through the Marshall Plan in grants to help lift up Europeans. I, for one, am very grateful, but I'm afraid to say I'm in a minority. What Trump has exposed is the reality of how the global order actually functions, how China actually understands, how Russia actually understands things. They don't care about laws and rules. They care about might.
And it exposes the sclerotic, bureaucratic, do-nothing weakness of most European countries over the last several decades. The idea of boning up Greenland in defense of the Western Hemisphere would have been caught in a debate in Brussels for 15 years. But Trump got it done in a matter of weeks against kicking and dragging and screaming the bureaucrats of Europe. And now, to your second point, we'll have to leave it here, Winston. Now, Emmanuel Macron invites Chinese dollars to step into the gap now he feels that is being left by America. And that's the real threat. That's the weakness that they don't even see. I see your face. I see your hand movements. And if all of the Mohammeds in London will soon be funded by the CCP.
Yeah, it's already happening, I'm afraid.
All right.
America having control in their hemisphere, a strong America means a strong Europe. If Europe wants to survive, America needs to survive. So anything to help American protection is fundamentally a good thing. I don't want to see America invading Greenland. Trump said he's not going to do that. But it's in Greenland's interest, from a security point of view, to have American support and security. So it's good for the West. If you believe in the West, you should want America
and
to be strong.
Denmark's, and the Scandinavian nations, and the UK. So we'll protect you as you kick and scream and dig your heels in protest. We'll protect you, Europe. Winston Marshall, great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Will.
All right, ahead.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.